We review it Wednesday.
Introducing your hosts.
I know there's been a lot of speculation of whether or not I am Matt Logan. And yes, I am Matt Logan.
I'm Tyler. Tyler Peterson.
Slugheads.
This was super.
Super Mario.
Can you do the accent?
It's a me.
Mario.
What about the song?
Well, we'll get to that.
Okay.
I love that song.
Did you sing it to your wife?
Oh yeah, and she hates it. So it came out. So it's up for. It could be up for an Emmy or Oscar, whatever the musical award is. And so then I saw the music video of it, of Jack Black just dancing around as he's singing "Peaches, Peaches." And so then it's a catchy song.
Yeah.
And so then I get it stuck in my head and I start singing it. And I'm like, I'm a person who has a hard time keeping things inside my body. Of like, when I have thoughts, they're either coming out, and it's even worse with songs. If I have a song stuck in my head, it is coming out of my mouth.
It's out.
Yeah. Just like the Super Mario Brothers movie.
510 million.
That's crazy.
We got to get you like some stress balls or something.
I don't know
so
what's going on. I've gotten twitchy.
The mic, and got to hold on to it.
Know. I know. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Biggest opening weekend for an animated film ever.
Yes.
Passing Frozen 2, which I never saw. But
And it's remarkable that it is because, what's that one actor that came out, and there's a couple of them actually, and said, I'm not going to go see it because it doesn't
there's
represent.
no Latin actors.
I know. That's so weird. It's so weird. This is an art.
Yeah.
And if you weren't picked to do the art, so what?
Yeah. It's a media. Out of all of the things of like, when you think of Super Mario Brothers, what's the first thing you think of? Oh yeah, Latin America.
Right.
I mean, I would understand.
Well, they're actually Italian.
Oh, well, yeah, exactly. So like, if there was no Italian representation and people felt like they were being excluded, whatever, like that would make more sense. I would still would think it's stupid because it's animated.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah.
It's just whatever. It just I saw that and I was like, no way.
Yeah.
No way. Come on. It's just gotten so ridiculous.
I mean, maybe he's just having like, he needs he has an ego thing, because that's the only thing that would make sense to me of like, he's like, he wants some of the limelight shed on him, because why else would anyone say something like that?
Oh yeah, I agree with that 100%. It's just very bizarre. Very bizarre.
Very bizarre.
Yeah.
But I did love like the opening commercial where they went heavy at like the Italian cheesy accents, and they're like, do you think the Italian was a little too much? And then the guy next to him who was playing the original Mario game, Jumpman, and he said, no, it was perfect. And that was the guy who voices Mario.
Oh, really?
In a lot of them. Yeah, Charles Martinet.
Oh, okay.
Which is really
I
cool.
guess I didn't know that. We have some little critters flying around. It's gotten warm out here in Minnesota for a day.
So if you start seeing
two.
like puppets or shadows in the background, we're just really practicing how to make the shadow puppets.
And if you hear the buzzing, so timing was good on the film.
Yeah.
It wasn't too long. The
92
way
minutes.
they delivered things. Yeah. I mean, it was great. I was just so impressed all the way around, really.
I love Nintendo. Like,
it's because that came out like when you were a little kid. Well, actually, before you were a little kid.
Yeah, it was before.
Yeah.
But I definitely grew up with the Nintendo systems of like, my first gaming system that I fully remember was the N64. Obviously, there's the NES and SNES before that. And then obviously even ones like the Atari and stuff like that.
See, I remember the Atari.
Yeah. My dad remembers the Atari.
Yeah.
I was not alive. But I remember Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time was my first game. But like even Mario 64 was an incredible game that I loved playing, going to the paintings and the worlds that created. And so, gosh, I was smiling during this whole film.
Yeah.
I was so happy.
Yeah. I stayed awake.
That's all I can ask for.
That's right.
I'm really curious to see where our scores range because I know all of my scores are incredibly biased.
Right.
You know what? That's okay because we're not professionals.
No, exactly. It's just about enjoying, and talking about what we enjoyed and didn't, and stuff like that for sure. And it's one of those things for me. Like we're back to animated again, and how do you do it? How do you rate how our scores kind of normally go? And,
right.
So I've been thinking about that, and I don't know. So actor chemistry is our first.
Oh yeah, let's get into it
on the list.
Yeah.
I would like to see more of, and I've talked about this before with you. I'd like to see more of those like recordings where they're actually doing the voice.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
That would be really cool. Like post credit or whatever.
Yeah.
They used to do some more of that. I feel like, and. Robin Williams, you saw Aladdin stuff all the time. You just saw a lot of these different things. And so I miss that a little bit, but maybe their studios aren't as fancy as they used to be. You know, maybe they're in their basement at home with their cell phone. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
It's just kind of weird that they don't do any of that. Maybe they will with the Blu-ray, but and so that would help me, like how are they into it, stuff like that.
Are they interacting with one? Are they even in the same room?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's just interesting. So we're back at trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
The nuance of all that stuff.
Good work in progress.
That's right. So where are you at?
So
what do you got?
I remember when this film was first announced.
Yeah.
Because, again, I follow a lot of things Nintendo. And so when they do directs, when they do any announcements, usually I watch all of those videos. And so I remember when they first announced the voice cast for the Mario movie. And they said Chris Pratt, Jack Black, Keegan-Michael... why can't I think of his name?
Keegan-Michael Key.
Yeah, that's what it is. Key. And Seth Rogen and Fred Armisen. And I was thinking... This is an April Fool's joke. Like, these are not actors that you would ever... Jack Black and Charlie Day were the two people are like, I could see this working. But everyone else almost seemed like a joke when it was first announced. And going into the film, I was like, I don't know how this is going to work, but I'm going to trust the process. And I loved it.
Trust the process.
That's right. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they did a very, very nice job.
I love Charlie Day. Charlie Day was probably my favorite.
Okay.
Luigi is a nervous wreck of a character.
Yeah.
And that's Charlie Day.
Yeah.
And you could really see that pair well. And then Chris Pratt being able to be like stepping up. Like, that's a lot of his characters too. It was like protecting the family.
Right.
And so Jack Black was phenomenal.
He's talented.
Yeah.
I wasn't really sure what to expect with his voice work.
Yeah.
But I guess he's done quite a bit of it.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I think so.
I read something that this was just a walk in the park for him. He's done other voice work. So. And
they really gave him a freedom to be Jack Black. Jack Black has one of those things where it's again one of those personalities that you could just have a day in the life of Jack Black and you could just watch it because it's enjoyable. And so
they probably have that out there somewhere.
Yeah. I feel like he could be an anti-hero. Like, he's not a great person. Like, a lot of the films he does, he's not a great person. But again, he's fun to watch, and he gets to a point at the end of where, like, I can understand the motives and actually care about this character.
Yeah. I was pretty surprised to see how out of shape he is.
Yeah.
Like, I hadn't seen him in a long time. And
since Jumanji. That was the last time I've seen him in.
Well, right, and then I guess he lost a bunch of weight for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, but clearly he is, I was just really surprised. Whatever, I mean, it's his life, I guess, and his heart to deal with, and all those other things.
Right.
But he's a big guy now.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
the one character, or the one thing I didn't like with the acting, or voice acting was Seth Rogen has a very distinct laugh.
Yeah.
And that definitely took me out at a few times of like, oh gosh. Like again, when he was talking, when he was interacting with Mario, like just conversation and other things like that. Loved that. Believed it was DK. And then DK would start laughing and I was like, oh, it's Seth Rogen.
Right. Oh yeah, exactly. And now tell me a little bit about DK, because I thought it was a completely separate, thing. Donkey Kong was a totally separate from Mario
franchise. Well, technically, so Cranky Kong, if we're going back to the original, so Cranky Kong, who was voiced by Fred Armisen, he was the original Donkey Kong. And so during Jumpman, Mario actually had red overalls and a blue overcoat.
Oh, yeah.
And so that was Cranky Kong. And so, like, again, that's Mario. And then there's...
But was that... So it was a character within Mario?
Yeah.
Okay.
They kind of interacted with each other.
Okay.
And then, I mean, they've always kind of... I mean, they have the Mario games. And when it comes to the Mario universe and, like, the Nintendo universe, like, DK and Mario do cross over quite a bit.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't really sure there, honestly. So, okay, cool.
They're definitely, overall, I would say, different franchise, like, IPs, but, like, they interact a lot.
Yeah, okay.
So
I knew that they did on occasion
in
some of these special games I've seen or whatever. Or, special edition or whatever. But yeah, cool.
So I gave, if we're looking at the voice, I gave it a 4. I gave it a 4.4.
Okay.
I didn't like Cranky Kong either. His voice was kind of weird. But overall, I really liked how they interacted.
It was written well, I think, for me, and I want to... It's hard to rate some of these because each theater is a little bit different.
Yeah.
You're sitting in a different place each time.
Yeah.
I kind of would like to see it at home in order to kind of, like, experience my sound system and stuff like that, because there was several times that it was really hard to hear over the music.
I loved the music.
Oh, the music was great.
Yeah,
but some of the voice was a little bit tough and things like that, and I don't know. So that kind of it plays into my score basically, and I'm a 3.8.
Okay.
Just because I think it's probably the theater issue. Yeah. I don't know.
Right.
But
that was your experience.
Yeah, that's what I experienced.
I also love the Luma character.
Yeah.
Of like, everyone's going to die, and she's so happy about it.
I know.
And then at the end, where the cages were going down into the lava, and she was like, "Oh, sweet mercy," and she was so happy to meet her demise. I was like, "Oh my gosh, this character is so consistent, so like more like dark, but it was so much fun."
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was funny. I don't think kids got it, of course, but hopefully not anyway.
No, right.
But
they're
yes,
like,
it was
they're
like...
so happy, but she's saying sad things.
Right. I'm going to die. Yeah, that was interesting. It's funny. Is that in the game? That way?
Super Mario? Well, you don't really have... It's not like...
Is there like...
They like eating is all I remember. It was Super Mario Galaxy is for that character's from.
Sure.
And I mean, Mario is never known for like developing actual characters and backstories and stuff like that. So I think it was a fun freedom they took with that one.
Yeah, nice. What are we moving on to now? We should talk about the music a little bit.
Yeah, my gosh. I know we don't grade music anymore.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, I loved the music.
I did too.
Oh my gosh, all the different references when you had the main world, but they would still go to the sewers. You would still hear do-do-do-do-do-do. But it was really so. I was like, I can't do it slow because I'm so excited about the music. And then the way they transitioned into the main world, they had the Mario Kart theme when they were doing the karts. Like that was the menu screen when you play Mario Kart. They had the Invincible sounds. They had the water themes. There was so many tie-ins to the games. And I was all in all of the time.
And they didn't do it in a tacky, campy way.
That's what was incredible about it, was that granted, maybe it was a little loud at times, but if you were just listening to music and it was well balanced, like the one never took you out of the other.
Yeah, no, right, for sure.
Oh my gosh. And then they did the DK rap, like that was from Donkey Kong 64, which is a game that wasn't really referenced, but I love that song, like DK Donkey Kong. It's like a great hype song, and that's how DK came out. I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's nice. I played that actually a little bit once.
Yeah.
And I remember that.
Yeah.
That's funny. The references to the time period was fun.
Right.
You know, I think the game originally was in the 80s.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah. But so it's just the way they tied it together, they referenced everything like that was really good. But music is a crucial part.
Yeah.
And they just it was like
the
another
Peaches
character
song. Like they let Jack Black do his own thing and it fit the movie well. There were some of like the modern song, like modern, whatever you want to call it, where they did like the Take On Me part, like didn't fully make sense to the context of what was going on, but like I still had a great time. The Brooklyn, when they were doing the Brooklyn song.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it. I loved the whole. It was so good.
Yeah, it really was.
It was
beautiful.
Gorgeous. Beautiful.
Yeah, right. That's how it goes.
Bruce Almighty.
Yep.
Oh, it was gorgeous.
They, I can see where they spent the money. I mean, they spent like $100 million.
Yeah, they did.
Wasn't
but
it?
That's still a low. Like I feel like a lower budget for an animated film, and all the voice actors they got for it. I guess
I think
a
lot of times. Yeah, I think a lot of times the voice actors now are taking a cut from what the sales or whatever they want to call it are, and merchandise and stuff. I think a lot of times too. I think they've needed to take some of the risk on.
Right.
It wasn't like 20 years ago where Will Smith was getting 25 million a movie or whatever, and things, and other actors too, of course, but. So I don't know, but they did a phenomenal job.
The opening scene, like it was one of the trailers too, but like the opening scene where they're going into the Penguin Kingdom and just set the stage for the
I might have missed that.
It was.
I came in a little late. I was hungry.
Oh my gosh. The audacity.
I was waiting for.
Well, let me tell you about it. Imagine this. Close your eyes. That big Bowser floating lava land of a castle comes into this ice kingdom. Okay. And the penguins are starting to get ready to come out. Drop the stage. Bowser comes on stage with all of the Koopa shells, the green Koopas with some of the red and everything else like that. And comes in. The penguins start attacking him with snowballs because that's the only thing they have.
Right.
And Bowser's like, now let me try, and then just burns the whole castle, and that's what reveals the star.
Yeah.
Which sets up the whole film, and
that's where I came in.
Okay.
He the star.
Yeah. It was so cool.
That's nice.
And I like the differences between like the real world, like it's all animated and it looks animated, but there's a huge distinction of what's Brooklyn and what's the Mario, I guess, the Mushroom Kingdom, which was super cool.
I don't know what to say about it other than whoever the lead on this was great.
Yeah.
I mean, they brought this team together in big ways, and that's why it did $500 million.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. And
over like Easter weekend, like I know it's like family time to get together, but I feel like Easter weekend is not a weekend of like, oh, let's go out to the movies.
Right. But they did.
They did.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm sure some spring break or, Easter break or whatever you want to call it too. But I gave it a 4.7 on cinematography.
Yeah.
Animated stuff, they can really bomb bad. And they didn't.
No.
It wasn't a bombastically bad.
Right.
It was really phenomenal.
And there were so many Easter eggs. Like,
yeah.
If you pay again, if you're a Mario fan, like it does so much service. Like again, if I were to take my bias out, I can just look at the story. Like the story is kind of bland, but like the way, if you know the characters, if you know how everything interacts, They just did so. Did you hear that reference of when he was like buying a cartridge or everything? Like, hey, I'm having issues with it, and
Yeah.
they're like, just blow it out. And it was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And so there were so many small things like that. Or even in Brooklyn when they were going to, it was either their house or they're going to their first job, and Mario, they switched to the 2D aspect, and then they did basically a level where they were going up and down the what are they called, shingles or not shingles, what are they? Scaffolding.
Yeah.
Scaffolding, like he opened the doors up for Mario, and then Luigi was like still reserved and stuff like that, and then they ended it up with him going on a pole, sliding down, and the next thing was like Burger Kingdom, which is like, well, Burger Castle, and then obviously like Mario goes into a castle. No, but they go into a castle at the end of a level.
Burger.
I had burger today. I had my McDonald's.
All
special
right, there
today.
you go.
And so they just did so many things like that, and there were so many things in the background. Like it was always visually stunning when Bowser blew flames on one of the Koopas and became a dry bones. Like that was intelligent, that was smart, and it was funny. Yeah,
that was really, really funny.
Yeah.
Those little things, like the way they told the story too, to a lot of the kids that don't know. I mean, they, I'm sure heard of Super Mario Brothers, but the way they built that story was just, it was super easy, but super fun. All those kinds of things made it just a dynamite film.
And even like when DK and Mario were first fighting in the DK Kingdom or whatever, I forget what the kingdom was called. They had, again, we're talking about the DK franchise and the Mario franchise in the first Mario film. It was all those like single bars and stuff like that. DK was throwing barrels and stuff and like that. And it was like, this is just great. Like, I love it. I was smiling the whole time. There were so many times where there were references and things like, man, this is all connecting. Like, I understand. I mean, I didn't understand everything. Like, I haven't played all the Mario games, all of the levels, but connect with like 80% of it. And like, this is so cool. Like, they didn't have to include this, but the director who was, I forget what his name is, but he was executive producer. Shigeru Miyamoto was the one who created the Mario franchise, had a huge role into this movie.
Oh, nice.
And you could tell that love was put into all of those details.
Yeah, totally. Overall entertainment.
Gosh, it was a 4.9.
Wait, did you tell me?
I said 4.8 for.
Okay, okay. 4.9 for overall entertainment.
I was entertained. I wish, you know the aspect of like, if you're wanting more at the end of the film, like it's a good sign of a film.
Yeah.
Like, I think I could have gone another 30 minutes, but I think it probably needed another 15 minutes because there were some things where I feel like they could have developed some of the story.
I hear what you're saying, but I don't agree with that. I think that this was a really good time for the audience that they were really going after.
Yep.
They want to get the parents in there with the kids, and if it's a 2-hour film or more than that.
I know. Oh, he stayed on there.
Yeah, he's on the table.
Oh, man. Sorry, Bill.
Old Doctor Who is hanging out.
Ladybug, I see.
Hanging out by the TARDIS.
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
Should we do ASMR on the little love bug there?
Oh yeah.
Good old country living.
That's right.
Anyway, back to reality. So overall entertainment, in the time and everything, they want to get kids in there. As a parent myself, you go into a film that's 2 hours, or if it's more than 90 minutes,
I know
it's like not gonna do it.
I know
just not gonna do it.
I know it's a kids' film,
but what they want, I mean, they want to get the kids hooked on it.
Yep.
But they also want, especially people your age, that really grew up with this.
Yeah.
And they want you there too.
Yep.
And it's working.
And I was there.
That's great.
I was invested.
Yeah. It's good to see theaters more full again.
Yeah. It was so much fun to be in that theater. I mean, like I said, so I had a nice little ticket fiasco when I went to watch the Super Mario film. I had bought tickets on a Friday. I was going on a Saturday. Turns out when I got there on Saturday, I purchased tickets for a Friday. And so legitimately there was like, I went with my wife and another friend, a couple. And so it was a total of 4 people. And so there was only one spot where 4 people would fit next to each other.
Yeah.
And so I went up. They were like, oh, actually the movie started, so you can take the handicap seating. And luckily there was nobody who needed the wheelchair accessible seats. And so we got nice 4 seats right in the middle.
Yeah.
But hearing the kids interact with the film,
Yep.
hearing some of like the parents, seeing people come in, like I saw someone in a DK suit, Mario and Luigi that came in. So that was so much fun. So it was like a perfect balance of like, again, I mean, the Mario film could target a lot of different people. Like, I think that's why this movie is doing so well, is because you have so many. You have the nerds that just want to be nerds and enjoy all of the references, but you have the kids and seeing Mario, like they still connect with it. Mario is still a booming franchise.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
No, it's great. I hope they keep doing movies like this. I mean, that'll bring people in. It's just people want this, and it's been proven over and over and over and over again. So
we get the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I want Nintendo. I want to see a Zelda movie. I want to see a Metroid movie. I want to see a DK movie, which I think is the next one in the works. Yeah. And then
that would be
it
fun.
All accumulates to a Super Smash Brothers Avengers movie.
Yeah.
That would be insane. Granted, I don't know why they would all fight each other, because that would be strange, but they'll make it work. They'll figure it out. They'll get the motives.
Yeah. Yeah, Marvel's dying because they're not doing stuff like this. Yeah. I mean, that's just the reality. So
Absolutely.
It's good to see this kind of stuff for sure.
I thought the very end credit scene was odd because it was just a Yoshi egg in Brooklyn. I wish, because there was the montage where we already saw the Yoshis, so I wish they either would have cut that.
Yeah.
So that way the ending actually was like, oh, this is actually a fun Easter egg because we haven't seen this character yet.
Right.
Or they would have done something else.
Yeah, agreed. Go see it.
Yeah.
But email us and tell us what you think.
At legitq@maddysmoviemix.com.
You got it right. First try.
I'm learning.
See you next time.
Hammer the share button. Go ahead and hammer out a comment to us. Go ahead and hammer the like button. Go ahead and hammer the subscription button. Go ahead and hammer the notification bells, because you know what? That's the best way you can support us. We appreciate it.
Life's too short to wear a shirt. I mean, a boring shirt. Check out www.shinybrandproducts.com.